GPT or Claude or Gemini, it's kind of influencing, how people are now accessing content. And a new and fascinating discipline is emerging, which is called Generative Engine Optimization, or we would like to call it GEO. Um, you know, you know very well that while it's still kind of like traditional SEO, um, but it's all about like how content is being rendered and shared by AI, and what sort of recommendation AI is able to provide based on the existing traditional methods of SEO. So while it's still evolving, right, we still have to figure out what's the best way all of this comes together. And what I see is a massive shift in the behavior, right? Marketers are able to optimize not just for traditional rankings, but they'll also have to start thinking about how do I summarize my content, how do I summarize my uh, recommendations for the AI engines, and also make sure that we are staying true to the brand identity and true to the brand messaging, right? um, so it's going to be interesting because these AI systems are now becoming more of gatekeepers of the information, right? I think you would want to like touch on like the traditional methods that we've seen in the
I mean
past,
the
right? Yeah.
in kind of if you look at traditional SEO methods, I think is being rewritten. AI generated responses are now embedded directly kind of in search result. That's what you see, right? Like any kind of a search, Google or Bing, you can see that zero click searches means you search, you prompt for certain information, but you don't have to kind of click to find any more to find your results. It's there directly on the screen. And in the recent results, right, 60% of the Google searches are this way, right, where there is zero click, there are no click. Okay, so it is going to transform how the search are being kind of made today, and then how it is going to kind of evolve over the next few days, right? Now you talk about the massive shift in the behavior. Now I think you when we were discussing about this content, you brought up some, I would say, two interesting examples, like two comparison of how generative engine is playing a kind of a role in how people are using these AI engines to search for the information. Can you highlight those two examples?
Yeah, this was something that Pradeep and I have been discussing in the last couple of weeks, because I have a lease that's coming up for renewal, so I'll have to change my car. 3 years ago, right, when I was doing the lease renewal, I would go to various websites, various dealership sites, look at like what sort of offers they are providing, and then go physically go there, understand how much money I have to spend, how and 9 out of 10 times, right, it's never a win-win strategy, because the dealerships themselves have like all the information. Most of the information that's provided on the site are in the fine print. Nobody really has time to like read through the fine print to understand like what's MSRP versus what more hidden costs are getting added, right? So this time around, I was using OpenAI to basically, prompt my request in terms of like, all the dealerships, all the different brands, and so on and so forth. What I got out, in a matter of minutes was, a tabulated information that basically gave me a list of all dealerships in New Jersey that basically talks about like, hey, a mid-range SUV, what's the MSRP, what are all the hidden costs, and if you were to go and buy one, what is going to be the dollar amount that you're going to spend, and how different it is from dealership to dealership, right? Now with this information, right, you are better armed to have a meaningful conversation with your preferred dealer, and able to get a better deal, right, because you have all this information handy. Now at the same time, another example where we shouldn't blindly fall AI is planning a holiday destination. A recent thing that came up where we were planning for a destination holiday. And interestingly, AI was able to basically put together the entire itinerary for us in terms of where we need to go, which hotel to stay, what restaurant to go and have food, which route to take, where there is going to be scenic drive would be possible, and so on and so forth. But in reality, when we started digging a little bit deeper into it, what we realized was, in some instances, the restaurant suggestions, the restaurants are no longer operational, hotels are booked out, there is construction going on these scenic drives. So we have to balance it. We can't simply take what AI is generating and just run with it, right? Many a times it's just hallucinating, right? So we have to be mindful about where we use it and where we don't. And there is always going to be some level of uh, our own thought process that needs to go into all of this, right? But at the end of the day, what it's all leading us towards is reducing the overall effort involved in doing all this, from weeks to basically minutes.
Yeah, means that brings up an important point, right? Like in terms of the marketers and SEO professionals and specialists needs to look at SEO strategy from the AI, from the perspective of AI discoverability. It's no longer like a kind of playing around with the keywords. Instead, it will be more looking at the overall quality of the content as well as the purpose of the content as well, right? uh, so that how you could be make it more or optimize it for featured snippets, like kind of, and when AI overviews that you can get today, like in terms of when during voice searches or normal text searches, the kind of an overview, and then the like then generative the conversational flow of the content. I think that is where the marketers and then the SEO specialist professions needs to focus on. And to kind of to highlight some of the tools, right, in this particular space, okay, kind of, and we are listed few of them in terms of the platforms that are assisting with the generating engine optimization. Certainly marketers and somebody interested in this space should explore them. Yeah. Mohit, I know like you also have been kind of an exploring or very close to how understanding understanding how GEO is playing a role in terms of optimizing help documents as well, right?
Yeah, see, at a high level, right, I will just quickly touch on it. Internally, it's all about tagging, having clear headlines and taglines, and making sure that all these are AI ready, so that internal documentation within organizations are searchable, right, through AI, and AI is able to provide clear recommendations.